Hello and welcome once again on the TOI Sports channel. This is Beyond the Boundary and I'm Pankaj Athavle welcoming you this evening on a wonderful discussion because the discussion is going to be around the man of action, the man who almost did it for India, a man who kind of shouldered most of the responsibility down under for India, and the man who is now being touted as the next test captain for India, and the man who will have to bear a lot of burden on his shoulders in the next 12 months. Yes, we are going to talk about Jasprit Bumrah. Of course, we were told that he had back spasms in Australia and that's why he couldn't come out to bowl in that last innings in Sydney. We have been told that he has bowled over 150 overs in this entire Border Gavaskar Trophy. The England series is up now. Will he be a part of it? The Champions Trophy is around the corner. What is going to happen? We need to talk about all these things. We need to talk about the support cast as far as Bumrah is concerned. Who are the other bowlers who can support him or replace him? So many things to talk about, and looking forward, what can happen with Jasprit Bumrah. So let's start the proceedings as we welcome our usual suspects. Right now, we have with us Dwight Datta and Chandresh Narayan, and both of them have a lot to talk about. Both of them know a lot of things about Indian cricket, especially the BCCI. Dwapan, Chandresh, welcome to the party. And let's start with Dwapan's article to begin with. Dwapan, you have been, in fact, covering this very, very closely. Now, there are a couple of issues that we need to kind of understand. A lot of viewers are also asking for it. Friends, if you're watching us live right now, please do send us your comments. What do you think about Jasprit Bumrah? How long can he continue? Should he be the captain? Your views on Jasprit Bumrah, please do tell us and we'll take them on. But Dwapan, 150 plus overs, we know his action, we know the dynamics, and we have been told it's a back spasm. Is it really a back spasm? There's speculation that it can be a first grade stress fracture. So a lot of things are being spoken about Jasprit Bumrah. Uh, it sounds a bit serious.
It does. But whether it is a stress fracture, that really we do not know as of now. Like
Hmm.
there have been reports that he has the thing has been referred to his surgeon in London, etc., etc. All those things, everything. There are news that is swirling around. But the thing is, if it is a back spasm, only a back spasm, then it's a muscular injury, and it's an orange light which he understood and stopped bowling, and that's
Okay.
why it 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 may not just go into that stress fracture level, because he had that injury before and he knows where to stop when his body is saying that this is the place where I should stop. So if that has been the case, then India, at the cost of that Sydney test, may have saved a year's cricket for Bumrah. Bumrah may be back for the Champions Trophy itself. But if it
Hmm.
has become a stress fracture, which we do not yet know, if it has hit the bone, if it has become a stress fracture, then we are looking at a long layoff. Like then he may not be available for IPL also. That then maybe he'll be back for England. But we again, I want to mention that we do not, at least I do not yet know whether it is a stress fracture or not.
Okay, and people are looking forward to your inputs, Vapan and Chandresh. If you all don't know, definitely not a lot of people know about it. I think that we can say that. But Nimish Juneja says Rohit will now be the captain because of this till 2027. Come on, Nimish, it's okay. You don't need to really stress about that. He has already spoken about his future. But Chandresh, you know what Dwapan said, let's dwell on that. I mean, we know who Jasprit Bumrah is. We all know how his body action, biomechanics, everything. And there are two things. One is, are we not really able to understand how to utilize it? Number one. And secondly, the problem is there are so many bowlers in India. Can't we, or is it a problem that we really don't have a backup force?
Pankaj, I think there are two, three questions uh, laced in your one question that you've asked me. Uh,
Yeah.
I think the first important thing is that Jasprit Bumrah, the test bowler, right now in Australia, we saw he was the test spearhead, and Siraj to some extent was backing him. But the
Hmm.
others, are absolute greenhorns in terms of test cricket or even first class cricket. We saw with Harshit Rana, he didn't have enough overs under his belt before coming into the test series, and he was absolutely a greenhorn in the test match format.
Right.
And you saw him in the Adelaide test match, the second, third, fourth spells. was not really up to the mark. Uh, and he's somebody who needs a lot more test experience, first class experience. Amongst the other names that were on tour, you had someone like Akashdeep, who's from Bengal, who bowls a lot of overs in first class cricket for Bengal. But again, he gave it his all and he got injured himself. He has a back problem. And then you have Prasidh Krishna, who was coming into this series after missing a lot of cricket because of injury and a surgery. And
Hmm.
again, and he played a couple of first class matches, and he played for India A as well in this before the Test series started. So what happened was that because of all these other uh, support bowlers not being there, because A, they
Right.
lacked experience, B, they were coming back after a long layoff. Uh, so it was down to Bumrah, so he gave it his all. And Siraj, on the other hand, tried to be the enforcer while
Yeah.
Bumrah was trying to. So both of them were performing roles uh, because they didn't have any kind of a backup support like they had in 2021 in England, for example, where they had Shami, Umesh Yadav, and Ishant Sharma. Now, India has moved on beyond Umesh Yadav and Ishant Sharma in Test match cricket, beyond Bhuvneshwar Kumar in white ball cricket. But the big man that India missed on this tour was Mohammad Shami,
Exactly.
because if you have an attack with Shami, Siraj, and Bumrah, you have an all-round attack where everybody is sharing the load. Right now, because on this tour the backup was not great, it was down to Bumrah and Siraj, and Bumrah took the lead. It's something similar to what happened with Srinath and Prasad on the '96 England tour, where Srinath and Prasad bowled very well, but the
But
backup was not great.
yeah,
So
Paras
I think
Mhambre and
something
everyone.
similar. Now, I think India needs to take a call whether Champions Trophy is important for India or winning a Test series in England for the first time since 2007 is more important, because
Correct.
we all know he's not going to miss the IPL. So let's take that out of the question. So only thing that we need to worry about is whether we want him to be fit for Champions Trophy. It's a short, sharp tournament. Do we really need to stretch him over there, or do we put him there and then risk him missing out on the England Test series? Because
Right.
otherwise, India is going to face a problem against England, who are going to be going hammer and tongs at India's inexperienced attack.
Very interesting. And Dwapan, I think we need to kind of dwell on this fact also. I mean, let's have a look at it. Pat Cummins, similar may not be a similar action, but equally crumbling body. Mitchell Stark, equally crumbling body. I can so we can have discussions whether his action is different, his action is different. But Mitchell Stark also going through all these things. Pat Cummins going through all these things. Australia have taken a very interesting decision that they're not sending Pat Cummins to Sri Lanka for the
He's
remaining
taken a
two Test
paternity break.
matches.
He's taken a
Yeah,
paternity
that's
break.
true, but then I
Huh.
mean, see, that is a very interesting way of kind of putting it up, also because that also serves as a break. You're right. I mean, and we wish all the best to the Cummins, the couple, Pat Cummins, and the entire family, so that in the upcoming days, Jacha Bacha, everyone will be fine. I mean, we wish them all the very good health. But Dwapa, I mean, planning is a big problem in India. Is that the case, or we are like just waiting, or so many things, or we are kind of indulged into in cricket, T20, ODIs, as well as test matches plus the IPL, that we are not able to kind of look forward and decide, okay, Dwapan, you play this much, Pankaj, you play this much, and Chandresh, you play this much. Rather, it looks like as if, oh, अच्छा, Dwapan आप available हो क्या? चलो आ जाओ. अच्छा, Chandresh, please, आप bowling करोगे? अच्छा, Pankaj, please. It sounds very haphazard the way our bowling department is being handled, be it in T20s, be it in ODIs, or be it in Test matches.
Pankaj, one thing I will say, like, why the comparison with Australia sometimes does not stand is because
Hmm.
there is a difference in the way we approach cricket and approach life also. Like, because in Australia, they play the
Hmm.
sport very hard. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But there is something called, like, if they can let go of a Champions Trophy, even if suppose Stark is not 100%, or
Uh-huh.
Cummins is going on a paternity leave, they can afford to let go of a Champions Trophy. But
Interesting.
and that is accepted in their culture, and it's accepted in their way of life. But if it is in the case of India and somebody as important as Bumrah, like, if he suppose it's not a fracture, it's just a it's a spasm, it's a muscle problem, and he doesn't play Champions Trophy, and
Hmm.
then he ends up playing IPL, then
Then, yeah.
entire India will be up in arms. Like, why did he do that? And if India doesn't win, like, these Australian players may well go and play a couple of games in Big Bash. So these are the things, like, India has to win a game of cricket. Cricket is the only sport that we win on a consistent basis. This is our only place of solace. So that is a big problem for taking a break like that. I think that that is a major problem. And as you are saying, whether we have the backup or not, see, without Bumrah, the problem is, without Bumrah, our attack doesn't have that cutting edge. Like, there are
Ooh.
good bowlers, there are steady bowlers, there are, India will always be competitive, but away from home, without Bumrah, like the major wins that we have had in Australia, then we have won two test matches. Bumrah has been magnificent. Without Bumrah, India lacks that cutting edge in their
Right.
attack, which we do not have at the moment. And with Shami also fading out,
Hmm.
like this space attack of Siraj, Prasid, etc., 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 they are good, but they are not great.
Correct, correct. Friends, if you're joining us and if you're watching us live, please do tell us what do you think. Who, apart from Bumrah, do you think are the bowlers that India should be looking forward to? Send us your comments. Also, do send us where are you watching us from and where are you getting involved. But Chitresh, I mean, this sounds pretty interesting. Sounds also a bit tensed up because we not having a cutting edge bowling machine or a bowling backup. It's very difficult. You know, we have so many wonderful bowlers in the red ball scenario. The other problem is, do you think, and I'll come to Dwaipan also on this, Chandrash, do you think that because there is so much of thought process going on and dependency only on batting, that we end up saying कि 2020 में भी हमको 10 बैटर दे दो, बाकी हम लोग एडजस्ट कर लेंगे, बॉलिंग तो वैसे भी टाइम पास होने ही वाला है. In ODIs also, our batters will do the needful. Has that thing unknowingly taken away our focus from grooming the new bowlers? Because after the Ishan Sharma and the Umesh Yadav, we had the Bumrahs and the Shamis. You know, there was some migration possible. But now, look at Mayank Yadav. He comes into IPL. He kind of impresses. He breaks down. We really don't have much an option. Akash Deep does well. He breaks down. Mukesh Kumar, we don't play him. So there seems to be an over dependence on batting, which automatically, unknowingly results in we not actually now having a bench strength as far as bowling is concerned.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there is a over dependence on batting. I think our T20 bowling is sorted because you've got
Mm-hmm.
Arshdeep Singh, who's been very consistent and good in T20 cricket. You also
Right.
got likes of Varun Chakravarti, who's done well with the as a spin bowler in the middle overs. You've got Ravi Bishnoi in the T20 format, who's done quite well. And I think that someone like Harshit Rana has also is also a very useful customer in the T20 format, and also someone like Mayank Yadav because he's played some T20 cricket before. Uh, I think the more than the white ball format, I think the worry is the red ball format. I think we need
Mm.
to separate the two in the sense that in the white ball format, because Indian bowlers play a lot of white ball T20 cricket. So the T20 team is sorted. I think we can just stop worrying about the T20 team
Okay.
because Surya Kumar Yadav is doing a great job as the captain. He's got a separate T20 specialist team. None of the guys who play in the ODIs or the Test matches are going to be there. So the only person who could probably be added to that is Jasprit Bumrah if he's fit. And next year's T20 World Cup, you can't play without the Jasprit Bumrah. He's probably the only one apart from say Kuldeep Yadav that I would even be looking at for the T20 format. It's the
Okay.
one day and the test match format where you need penetration in the bowling. That's where I think India is struggling, but more so in the test match format because you have greenhorns right now playing the first class
Mm.
level. That's where I was talking about the likes of Akash Deep has got tons of experience in first class cricket. So you saw the
Yes.
energy with which he came into ball. He gave it his all in those overs that he played, and he was very unlucky. He was very unlucky. He could have picked up
Yes.
a lot more than the 5 wickets that he got in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Akash Deep is a very good test match bowler, first class bowler. I think probably what India needs to do is that go back to say someone like a Mukesh Kumar because he's
Mm.
cut in the same mold as say a spot bowler because he'll keep it there and thereabouts and he's a workhorse. So I think Mukesh Kumar is another bowler that we will be seeing in action, I think, in England as a workhorse who could back, say, a Bumrah and a Shami and a Siraj with his workhorse abilities. He's good in that particular thing. I think the problem is that what India needs to do is look for another enforcer. I don't know whether it is, say, a Mayank Yadav or whether it is, say, uh, someone like a Khalil Ahmed who's
Hmm.
done well in first class cricket for Rajasthan, or look for, say, a Tushar Deshpande who's coming back from an injury and see how he performs, because he's also been very good at the first class level for Mumbai. So identify these kind of bowlers for the first class cricket. T20 cricket, I think everything's fine. One day cricket, India hardly plays any one day cricket. So I think the major worry right now is to find those bowlers who can be penetrative, take wickets, and help India win matches by taking 20 wickets. You don't want a situation where you're struggling to take 20 wickets, and that will only come from people having some experience.
But Chandresh, you're right. I mean, to a large extent, yes. Vignesh Ram says cutting edge. Patty is great. Stark is bad. Hazelwood is excellent. India, Bumrah outstanding. Siraj sometimes okay. Sometimes Godly. Shami is excellent, but Shami Vignesh is not anymore. I mean, the force that he used to be. And what Dwapan also mentioned was very important: the emotional atyachar that we have. I mean, I'm using that term because we are so emotionally involved in it that we need to get it. Now, the problem here is, Chandresh, you said that yes, we don't play too much of ODI cricket, but suddenly, once in a year or once in 2 years, we have this marquee tournament coming, ODI World Cup. We kind of struggled initially and then kind of settled down and then kind of came to the finals. Now, suddenly, we have the Champions Trophy. We also have the ODIs with England. Now, do you think, and Dwapan, to start with you, do you think that we do identify people, but because of the melee of T20, ODIs, and Test match cricket, some names easily fade out? And the first name that comes to my mind is someone like an Umran Malik. We couldn't groom him for the ODIs, we neither could groom him for the Test matches, neither for T20s. So there are so many names which just get kind of, just vanish. And they probably could have been groomed very nicely. Yeah, yes, in fact,
Pub,
Chandresh,
pub,
yeah.
yeah, Pankaj, with regards to Umran Malik, he has
Ah,
a so BCCI last year identified a set of fast bowlers
yes.
who are part of the fast bowling contract. So you have Vijay Kumar Vaishak and you have one more bowler. I keep forgetting his name from Karnataka. You have Umran Malik. You have Mayank Yadav. So they have identified a certain set of fast bowlers who are being looked after at the NCA. Now, the kind of pace with which Umran Malik, Mayank Yadav bowl, it is bound to happen that they'll keep breaking down. So I think it's very unfortunate that these kind of bowlers. It's a very common thing where you can't expect them to play consistently at that level. You see what's happening with Jofra Archer in England and with Mark Wood for England. The same will very soon happen for a Quena Mapaka in South Africa. You've seen most of these fast bowlers who bowl at 150 plus, they always have this tendency to keep breaking down. So I think
Yes.
what you need to find, that's what I'm saying, that keep looking at for the test match format, keep looking at bowlers who are in the range of, say, Mohammed Siraj came through the India A format. The India A circuit was disbanded or discontinued because of COVID. So you also didn't have Ranji Trophy cricket for a season. Then you had an abridged version of Ranji Trophy for a season. So what that did was that you didn't have a ready supply line. Siraj came through a system and he was ready for Test match cricket. The others who are coming in now, say Harshit Rana. I'm coming back to Harshit Rana. I don't have an agenda against Harshit Rana. I was just saying that he looked undercooked because he had not bowled these many overs at the first class level. And he'll only improve by playing more long form cricket, and it won't come if he keeps playing white ball cricket. But is Harshit Rana your red ball cricket bowler? I don't know. If Mukesh Kumar should have been there, and I think that's a trick that India missed on this particular tour. Akashdeep is a good pick in the
Correct.
red
But
ball format.
Dwapan, but Dwapan, it's a demand supply problem. I mean, demand is very high. Does that mean that some years down the line, we may actually break down so many fast bowlers that we actually may not have fast bowling options? Demand is high, supply is less. ये तो इंडिया में इतना सारा सप्लाई है, ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता ना कि हमारे पास बॉलर ही नहीं मिल रहे ब्रेक डाउन होने के बाद भी.
Yeah, I think we have supply. There is enough and more supply. Only thing is, we do not have the supply of a Jasprit Bumrah. That is the problem. The,
Hmm.
like Jasprit Bumrah is a bit like that kind of. It was a bit like Wasim Akram. Like after Wasim Akram went, na
Okay.
Pakistan. If you remember, like Pakistan started losing that uh, vice-like grip that they had. So it's going to be the same once Bumrah slowly starts fading out. We have started getting used to Bumrah. That's why,
Hmm.
like the wickets. See, I'll give you a simple example. This SCG Test match, the that
Huh.
160, that target looked so ridiculously easy for Australia once Bumrah went away. It was
Yes.
not that easy a target. So the problem is getting a bowler of that. We have good bowlers. We will have some decent quality, some decent backup that will be there. I think I am getting slightly worried going forward for India because
Correct.
away matches will be away matches. I'm slightly worried about home matches now because now that Ashwin is gone and if they think that they do not want to persist with Jadeja, I hope India has enough spin arsenal to extract results in India after their failure against New Zealand. And they will have a catch 22 situation whether to play on turners or whether to play on good better old fashioned India pitches. So it's going to be a bit like spin is also an issue that we should
Yes. Yes.
about when we talk about bowling. Do we have enough good spinners also, and extracting results in India could also be a worry. So those are the things that we need to think about.
But
Because once Ashwin is gone, because Washington Sundar is not that class, I can tell
hmm.
you that he's not that. He's not that. He's a good bat who can bowl a bit, but he's not that class.
But this is something you have raised a very major red flag now, Dwapan, because this is turning out, the discussion is turning out to be extremely serious and scary. ना हमारे पास स्पिन बॉलिंग एक्शन प्रॉपर अच्छा है, ना हमारे पास फास्ट बॉलर्स हैं. जो फास्ट बॉलर्स आ रहे हैं वो ब्रेक डाउन हो रहे हैं, उनको हम संभाल नहीं पा रहे हैं. ओके, जसप्रीत बुमराह इज अ डिफरेंट मोल्ड ऑल टुगेदर, लेकिन बैकअप मतलब इट इज गेटिंग वेरी स्केरी चंद्रेश. तो ऐसा है तो फिर देन वील गो इनटू अ सिचुएशन, ओके लेट्स मेक अ 4 डे पिच ऑन अ डे 1 पिच और खत्म कर दो. एंड बिकॉज एनीवे द इंडियन बैटर्स नॉट गुड प्लेयर्स ऑफ स्पिन आल्सो, तो इट बिकम्स फर्दर एंड फर्दर कंफ्यूजिंग. This is a serious and a major problem looking ahead. We don't have bowlers in India now.
See, we have bowlers, but we have, like I said, the problem is not the T20 team. The problem is the red ball team. The problem
हाँ.
is not the one day team. The problem is the red ball team.
नहीं,
The
वनडे
red
में भी
ball
कौन
team,
बॉलर है यार?
you have Siraj, you've got Shami if he's fit, is available.
अकेला
Because the
लेकिन
same
शमी
bowling
और
attack.
कितना दिन खेलेगा चंद्रेश?
नहीं,
शमी
but
हाँ.
मैक्सिमम एक सीजन,
but
मैक्सिमम.
what I'm saying is that this same attack rolled over all the opposition during the World Cup in India in 2023. So
With
I'm not too
Bumrah,
worried
na?
about. Huh?
With Bumrah, right?
Yeah,
हाँ, तो
but it was
चंद्रेश
Shami
ओके.
who led the way.
नहीं
But it
नहीं,
was Shami who
चंद्रेश
led the way.
चंद्रेश यहाँ पर बुमराह इंजर्ड है, सिराज अकेला कुछ नहीं कर पा रहा है, शमी भी खत्म है अभी. तो आपके पास बॉलर कौन है फिर?
नहीं, तो that's what I'm saying. The problem is not the T20. The problem is the
ये
red ball
ओडीआई.
format. Red ball format even more than ODI. It's the red ball format where because see, Pankaj, you played cricket. You know that it is important for a bowler to have a third, fourth spells, and you saw what happened. Say,
Yes.
I'm coming back to Harshit Rana. It is easy in a T20 format because you just have to bowl 4 overs. But in a test match format, when the sun is
Yeah.
beating down, coming back third, fourth spells, and looking at the stat this season, you some interesting names. So that's where I think maybe India for the test matches at home, like Dwaipan mentioned, if you no longer have the services of a Ashwin,
Correct.
maybe you need to start looking at short term options, whether it is going to the best consistent performer over the years in the first class level.
Hmm.
I may take a name now, say Jalat Saxena, for example, who's been a
हाँ.
consistent performer. So pick him for the test matches at home. That's it. You do not, because there is no way he's going to be picked for a test match away. So sometimes in test match cricket, you need to be looking at players in the short term. So you're playing 4 test matches at home this year, then you've got 2 test matches in Sri Lanka next year. So you're looking at, say, a set of 6 test matches in
Right.
spinning conditions, where Sri Lanka will also be preparing ranked turners. So you need to be looking at those kind of spinners who know how to bowl on these kind of pitches, whether it is in India or say in Sri Lanka. So Jalat Saxena has got the experience. You've got Shams Mulani from Bombay, who can be called in. You've got Sai Kishore from Tamil Nadu,
Yes.
who's been a consistent performer. Amongst the others, if you don't feel that Washington Sundar is up to it, there is Kumar Kartikeya from Madhya Pradesh, who's done well this season as well, and he's rated very highly by everybody. So you look at someone like that. Then there are others that you can look at. There is Harpreet Brar from Punjab. These are the spinners
Chandrej,
who are doing.
all the names you are saying, finger spinner, left arm finger spinners. If you look at
So
all the
whatever
names,
it, no,
Yeah.
what I'm saying
barring
is,
Jalaj Saxena.
So what I'm
Huh.
saying is that pick bowlers, say for the test matches at home and for the 2 test. So right now, because it is going to take some time for India's test attack to be recalibrated, I think what you need to do is look at them. थोड़ा शॉर्ट टर्म सोचो, ये
Hmm.
6 टेस्ट मैच के बारे में सोचो. उसके बाद जो है 2027 के शुरुआत में यह बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी अगेन. सो यू
Yes.
विल सो यू हैव फ्रॉम नाउ टिल 2 साल तक to plan for that border Gavaskar trophy, if at all anyone is looking that far in terms of test match cricket. कि वो आपको तब ऐसे स्पिन अटैक होना चाहिए आपके पास जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया के परखच्चे उड़ा दे, जैसे हरभजन सिंह ने किया था 2001 में. सो आई थिंक in all, we've got 11 test matches to plan for at home with
Hmm.
spinners. So you need to start identifying those spinners for those 11 test matches in India and Sri Lanka from now, if you have to make it to the final of the World Test Championship in 2027. Now, when it comes to fast bowlers, you need to start, like I said, you need to start investing in Mukesh Kumar, Akashdeep. Siraj is already there. And what you need to do is that look for 1 or 2 other fast bowlers. Like I took some names earlier about Khalil. I took
Yeah.
names of the net bowlers who were in Australia, say Yash Dayal, who's been looked at very closely in terms of red ball cricket because he's a left armer as well. So these are the kind of bowlers who are prone to bowling in red ball cricket. आप उनके तरफ देखो, बिकॉज टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग आपके पास 7 टेस्ट मैच है इस साल, इंग्लैंड में 5 और अगले
Yes.
साल न्यूजीलैंड में 2. तो आपको उन 7 टेस्ट मैचों के लिए आपको एक फास्ट बॉलिंग ग्रुप चाहिए, और घर पे और श्रीलंका में 11 टेस्ट मैच के लिए यू नीड अ स्पिन बॉलिंग अटैक. सो यू नीड टू लुक एट इट दैट वे. One day cricket and T20 cricket will take care of itself because you play enough and more T20 cricket, so you know what it is. In terms of test cricket, you need to pick wickets, and you can't pick wickets without identifying the bowlers that you want.
Dwapan, this discussion, Chandresh, has turned out into something extremely serious. I mean, we feel that nothing's, I mean, everything is rosy, but considering the fact that we actually do not have any sort of backup in the spin department as well as the fast bowling department, Dwapan, investment is subject to market risk. Please read to offer document before investing. That's what you normally say. But I mean, there is no commodity now to invest in as far as bowling is concerned. This is extremely serious. Now, is it also a problem that bowlers are saying कि यार 4 ओवर डालना है, 10 ओवर डालना है, खत्म करो ना? Why should I break my back and bowl so long whole day? And then, I mean, that kind of takes away a lot of people away into the wide ball format, and we are left with actually nothing. And the next cycle of WTC Dwapan will be very, very difficult for India considering the bowling options that we have just discussed about.
As we saw, even this WTC cycle turned out to be very difficult
Yeah.
because even at even at home to break sides, if you go back to the England series, like
Hmm.
break England on slightly decent pitches, you needed a Bumrah again. The second
Correct.
Test match in the England was very much on the driver's seat. In the driver's seat after winning the first Test, it was Bumrah who broke England in that Test match, and from there things started spiraling out of control for England. So uh, the thing is, it is a difficult situation. Because I think the transition, it
Hmm.
hasn't been handled very well. Like, because we had these two guys of Ashwin and Jadeja who used to win matches at home, like just like that. And they became such pass masters of bowling on helpful pitches. Like, it just became a matter of just turning up and winning, and we got used to that over 5 years. Now suddenly, because our batting is also underperforming, they are being
Yes.
unable to get 300 runs on the board on turners. That is another issue. So that's where, so India will think twice before dishing out a rank turner, because their batsmen cannot score 300 runs. Like, if Prabhat Jayasuriya bowling, you are not sure that your batsman will get 300 runs. So in a 200 250 game, like, the getting that cutting edge spinner, it is not, it is easier said than done, because these two has 900 test wickets between them, this your Ashwin and Jadeja. And I think they will have to stick with Jadeja. They cannot let go of Jadeja at the moment, because Jadeja,
Right.
all said and done, is still a match winner on Indian surfaces. He will be for the next couple of years, because he has to play IPL, so he has to stay fit and relevant. So he will play his test cricket seriously. So you keep him and make that spin attack around him. You see a couple of bowlers, Washington and Jalaj Saxena, as Chandresh is saying, and get your batting sorted. Get start getting 300 runs on the board playing on turners. Otherwise, if we are going back to the first decade of 2000s, when we used to play on good pitches which used to have natural wear and tear and results on the fifth day, we are going to struggle day in day out to get results, because these
Correct.
spinners can't bowl on good batting pitches. We have
Now
seen
that,
that.
yeah, that's a major worrying factor. We have LW, Sunny, Ankar Biswas also talking about. There was so Ankar Biswas is bowling like Khalil. Akashdeep get injured, and then it becomes a scary thing. I just need my backup team to kind of tell me about. Just go back on the comment which mentioned about the 35, 36-year-old. What's the point in getting 35, 36-year-old? Anirban Banerjee. Anirban Banerjee. What do you mean by what's the point in picking 35, 36-year-old? Do you think Chandresh and Dwapayan at this age cannot deliver? We can get them bowl right on rank turners and they will still deliver. They're still 35, 36. What do you mean by that? So please don't go by the age of the bowler. Please
I
go
think
by
he
the.
means, I think Anirban means someone like a Jalat Saxena.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
I
poor
think
guy keeps picking up wickets every
yes, and
season,
never. And he's
never gets picked, not even for India.
correct.
So I think in any other era or in any other country, Jalat Saxena would have played Test cricket. It's only
Exactly.
unfortunate that Jalat Saxena. My only thing is, just like with Abhimanyu Iswaran, is that give him a chance to fail at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't ignore him from that point of view.
Okay.
So I
So
think now Gigi is here. He'll be able to tell us what the sources are telling about the T20 team, ODI team, and the Test team, because he's sitting in a very bright room. So he'll be able to tell us what is happening.
यस इनफैक्ट जी जी बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आपका. मैं शो एंड ही करने वाला था, लेकिन आखिर का सवाल आपसे मैं पूछ ही लेता हूँ. यू नो व्हाट वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इज अ वेरी वेरी स्कैरी एंड अ वरीइंग सिचुएशन फॉर इंडिया एज फार एज द बॉलिंग इज कंसर्न. स्पिन बॉलर्स भी नहीं है, फास्ट बॉलर्स भी नहीं है, रेड बॉल सीरीज में स्पेसिफिकली. और मतलब हमको इतना खेलना है, खेल भी पाएंगे या नहीं. आपको मुझे द्वापायन और चंद्रेश को जाना पड़ेगा इंडियन टीम में बॉलिंग करने के लिए. आई मीन दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ वरिंग सिचुएशन राइट नाउ. Do you see now? I'll give you four things that are happening right now. The England series, Champions Trophy, then we have the IPL, and then we have the England series. तो इन चारों में से आप बुमराह को कहाँ खेलते हुए देख सकते हैं? आपके जानकार सूत्र क्या बताते हैं?
Firstly, I'm extremely sorry to be so late on the show, but then blame it on the heavy traffic in Churchgate and CST, as we all know how bad it can be in the evenings. I'd gone for an event. So yeah, coming back to जो आप सवाल पूछ रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है देखिए जसप्रीत बुमराह डेफिनेटली इंग्लैंड सीरीज तो नहीं खेलने वाले. It doesn't serve any purpose for him to play the England
The
series.
first one.
The crucial factor here is that is he going to play in the Champions Trophy or not? with the present situation that was there in the last test. He did not bowl after the first 6 wickets fell in the first innings. Second innings, he could not come on to bowl. As I was saying yesterday on this show, that Jasprit Bumrah, from what people are telling me, in the his players who play around him and officials, that he's somebody who gives his 200% on the field, does not leave the field unless he's really in pain. So this is a very worrying sign. That there is something seriously wrong, and I fear that things are not all right in terms of his injury because of the way he has been used like a bull. बैल जैसे
Correct.
उनको जैसे यूज किया गया सीरीज में, to the point कि उन्होंने रोहित शर्मा को बोला बस कर यार, बहुत हो गया, बहुत डाल दिया. And then I think in the fifth test he would have rested, but for all the chaos around, wherein the जो रेगुलर कप्तान हमारे रोहित शर्मा वही बैकआउट कर गए, ऑप्ट आउट कर गए सेल्फलेसली, देश के लिए उन्होंने कुर्बानी दी एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ, जिसके लिए हमारे बॉलीवुड सेलिब्रिटीज ने उनको नमन किया. मेरा भी नमन है उनको, देश की भलाई के लिए उन्होंने अपने आप को विड्रॉ किया. लेकिन उसके बाद जो है वो टेस्ट में उस वजह से उनको खेलना पड़ा. तो आई थिंक दैट पुट इवन ऑल द मोस्ट इन ऑन हिज बॉडी. इन अ रेगुलर सिचुएशन ही वुड हैव मिस्ड दैट टेस्ट मैच डेफिनेटली. बट आई थिंक गोइंग फॉरवर्ड इन द चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी डेफिनेटली उनकी जरूरत पड़ेगी. दुबई में हमारा रिकॉर्ड अच्छा नहीं है इन टर्म्स ऑफ द विकेट्स आर स्लाइटली फ्लैटर, द बॉल डजंट कम ऑन टू द बैट, सो वी आल्सो स्ट्रगल टू मेक टू मेनी, we will struggle I think to make too many runs. And you need a bowler like that. If we have a paucity of bowlers at the moment, wicket taking bowlers, but then Siraj has shown that there are days when that day belongs to him. जैसे कि एशिया का फाइनल में हमने देखा against
जी.
Sri Lanka couple of years back,
sorry
and
to
then
cut
on the odd occasion he's really well. I thought he did bowl well in DGT in patches. He did take a lot of wickets, bowled his heart out, did not take a break. पूरे 5 टेस्ट मैच उन्होंने लगातार bowling डाली, which was a surprise to me.
जी, sorry to cut you, sorry to
Yeah.
come in, but सिराज ने एशिया कप फाइनल और वानखेड़े में अगेंस्ट श्रीलंका बॉलिंग किया, पर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में श्रीलंका नहीं है.
That is true, my friend, but I think he's a rhythm bowler. When he's in rhythm, he's very good. What I mean to say is that, and I think he will have days when he will bowl very well, is what I meant to say. I think from what my sources are telling me, there is a chance that Varun Chakravarti could go if Kuldeep Yadav is not able to prove his match fitness and so on and so forth. Because I don't think Kuldeep is playing in the Vijay Hazare knockouts, or whether UP is there or not in the knockouts. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But he started bowling in the nets, but then bowling in the nets, bowling in practice, and bowling in a match situation is entirely different. He's come back from a long injury layoff. So I think if he's not available, from what my sources are telling me, the selectors are keen on trying out Varun Chakravarti in ODIs as well. He's had a brilliant record in the T20s. His comeback was fabulous last year in the Indian team in the T20s. I know he has issues with fielding and all that, but then if somebody offers something different in bowling, then definitely. And just like हमारे अरानी बासु हमारे रिपोर्टर ने स्टोरी करी, I do believe that Akshay Ravindra Jadeja is in danger zone. And I think Akshar Patel is definitely has the wood over him in terms of if there's a sole spot that you're looking at in terms of a left arm spinning all rounder. अगर जडेजा होंगे भी तो अक्षर को प्रेफर किया जाएगा और किया जाना चाहिए भी.
अपने पास तो सबको लेना पड़ेगा जो अवेलेबल है उनको लेना पड़ेगा यार.
Bowler तो fact है वो, but then India has never been a too great a bowling side. It's only in the recent years under Virat Kohli where we have had bowlers who started taking 20 wickets and all that, but we have still won ICC tournaments. One-days में उतना और white ball cricket में उतना bowlers का शायद थोड़ा सा कम हो जाता है, in terms of the necessity to have match winning bowlers. If you have great batsmen, unfortunately हमारे बैट्समैन अभी ऐसा खेल रहे हैं कि मुझे हमारे बैट्समैन को देख के ज्यादा डर लग रहा है कि वो क्या करेंगे आगे जाके.
Exactly.
So that is a bigger worry.
Chandresh, yeah.
नहीं, अब मैं सुन रहा था आपको, तो अगर बुमराह फिट नहीं है या उनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन मार्क है, हाउ कैन बुमराह बी द लॉन्ग टर्म टेस्ट कैप्टन?
He cannot be.
Story.
That is a different story.
तो फिर इंग्लैंड में कप्तानी कौन करेगा? इंग्लैंड जाकर कप्तानी कौन करेगा इंडिया के लिए?
लेकिन वो खुद बहुत कीन है कप्तानी के लिए. अपेरेंटली लास्ट ईयर जब आयरलैंड टीम गई तो ही वाज वेरी कीन एंड ही सेड कि मुझे अगर कप्तान बनाओगे तो मैं मतलब जरूर जाऊंगा आयरलैंड. जब वो इंजरी से वापस आ रहे थे शायद 2 साल या 2 साल पहले की बात है, 23 T20s. Yeah, he was very keen on captaincy. He is generally very keen on captaincy. He thinks that he is the MVP of this team. So he says that if Virat and Rohit have been MVP and they have been captains, why not me? And Pat Cummins has proved that.
But if he can't play all, मतलब as in like if he's not टेस्ट क्रिकेट में तो आपकी जरूरत है ना. आप ठीक है, मिकी माउस व्हाइट बॉल सीरीज अगर हो रहा है कहीं पे तो कोई मतलब नहीं है उनका खेलना, तो मगर टेस्ट क्रिकेट में वो वो हर मैच खेल ही नहीं सकते। वो अगर वो सिडनी जैसा हो जाएगा तो मतलब वो जो वाइस कैप्टन है उसको हमेशा तैयार रहना पड़ेगा, क्या हो रहा है कप्तान को, क्या हो रहा
अच्छा,
है।
दूसरा
तो
प्रॉब्लम भी ये होगा कि हमको वाइस कैप्टन का भी वाइस कैप्टन और उसका कोई वाइस कैप्टन ऑलरेडी बना के रखना
बट
पड़ेगा।
बट
देन
पंकज, हाँ,
या
बट प्रॉब्लम ये है उसमें कि यू डू नॉट हैव अ बैटर हु हैज पुट हिज हैंड अप एंड सेड दैट कि मैं कप्तानी के लिए तैयार हूं, मैं टीम में परमानेंट। दे वर लुकिंग एट शुभमन गिल, जो मैं कल शो में बताया था, दे वर लुकिंग एट शुभमन गिल एज अ लॉन्ग टर्म कैप्टन, यू नो, पोस्ट द T20 वर्ल्ड कप, दैट व्हिच इज व्हाई शुभमन गिल वाज मेड द कैप्टन फॉर द जिम्बाब्वे टूर, एंड दे थॉट कि अब इसमें इन्वेस्ट करेंगे, ये
हाँ,
हमारा ऑल फॉर्मेट प्लेयर होगा और ये कप्तानी करेगा। बट ही हैज हैड अ हॉरिबल टूर ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया, which has put question marks on his whether he'll be picked for England or not. You know, KL Rahul is there, not there. He's not able to sort of be consistent. So amongst the batters, the next crop, there's nobody who's Yashasvi is too raw right now. ठीक है, उनको तो वो कभी कॉन्टेस्ट को सुना देते हैं, कभी यू नो ही हैज हिज इश्यूज, सो इज
आई
इज
थिंक
रॉ
आई थिंक
बेसिकली।
या
ऋषभ
देखो
राहुल
टेस्ट
ने
क्रिकेट में ठीक है, बट वाइट बॉल में आपका T20 में,
नहीं नहीं
मतलब
वही तो
T20 में
वो
भी
नहीं
ठीक है,
नहीं नहीं
वनडे
नहीं
में कौन है
आई
आपका
थिंक
कप्तान?
सीज
I
फायर
think
जेंटलमैन, सीज फायर।
Vaipan has taken a right name right now. ऋषभ पंत डेफिनेटली एक नाम है जो कि
हाँ,
उभर के आ रहा है, एंड आई थिंक इफ ही इज एबल टू, आई मीन इफ द सेलेक्टर्स आर बोल्ड एंड दे गिव अ मेक अ बोल्ड कॉल, देन परहैप्स, बट देन तीनों फॉर्मेट में क्या आप उनको खेलते हुए देखते हैं, कंसीडरिंग द वे संजू हैज परफॉर्म्ड इन T20s, द कंसीडरिंग ऋषभ हैज अ वेरी पुअर व्हाइट बॉल रिकॉर्ड स्पेशली इन T20s, so that's another issue,
Interesting,
you know.
interesting. Basically, gentlemen, I would suggest let's be very plain and simple. अंकर विश्वास says कि श्रेयस अय्यर को भी खेलना चाहिए एज अ कैप्टन। मैं
ये
कहता
घूम
हूँ
फिर के
सिंपल,
सब मुंबई वाला नाम से नेम ही आ रहा है।
यही होता है, यही
नहीं,
होता है।
श्रेयस का नाम चल रहा है, श्रेयस का नाम चल रहा है चंद्रेश, और आफ्टर द वर्ल्ड कप देयर वाज अ स्ट्रांग पॉसिबिलिटी एंड द सिलेक्टर्स वर लुकिंग एट इट, बट देन श्रेयस हैड अ लॉट ऑफ यू नो फिटनेस इश्यूज, दैट बैक इशू, 30 मिनट्स बैटिंग करते हैं तो बैक में प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, सो आई थिंक दैट अल्टीमेटली गॉट टू द सिलेक्टर्स कि भैया आप पहले फिट होके आओ, आप डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट खेलो जहां आप
अच्छा,
बचते हो खेलने
तो
से।
फिर तो फिर तो फिर ये पैरामीटर जो है ये पैमाना बुमराह के लिए नहीं होता भाई, आप फिट हो के आओ पहले उसके बाद कैप्टन बनाएंगे आपको।
No, the problem is
हाँ,
if
बुमराह
you
बुमराह
make, you cannot set conditions for Bumrah, because if you do that, you don't win matches.
या
It's a very
करेक्ट
करेक्ट,
simple.
करेक्ट
It's a very simple logic.
करेक्ट, he
दिस
is
आई
still the front runner in terms of your all format captain at the end of the day in
वेरी
important
गुड,
tournaments.
दिस हैज
नहीं,
बीन
बट
वन ऑफ
बुमराह
Jasprit
द,
इन
Bumrah,
T20 क्रिकेट,
अरे रुको
Jasprit
रुको,
Bumrah.
दिस आई थिंक यू नो
इन
दिस हैज बीन
T20
वन,
ऑल्सो।
हाँ
In major
आपने
tournaments, definitely yes. In major
नहीं
सूर्य
नहीं,
tournaments,
कुमार
if
यादव
he
को
is.
T20 में तो सूर्य
कप्तानी
कुमार
देते।
है ही।
T20 में तो सूर्य
वो
है
तो
ही ना, T20 में तो सूर्य है ही राजा. You are talking about the other two formats,
तो
the
आपने अभी बोला
ODIs and the big tournaments in ODIs and test matches in the marquee series. भले ही से फिर last दो test match को दूसरा बंदा खेले as captain.
So, gentlemen, Chandresh, Dwaipayan, and Gaurav have
तो बट
set
ये
so
देखो
many things on
पंकज,
fire. हाँ,
प्रॉब्लम ये द्वैपन का चेहरा देखो। आपने मुंबई के इतने सारे खिलाड़ियों का नाम लिया कप्तानी का, वो सोच रहे हैं मेरा चेन्नई से कोई नहीं, मेरा कैलकाटा से कोई नहीं है, मेरे लिए चल क्या रहा है ये?
मैंने ऋषभ पंत बोला, बट दिया लाइक तुम लोगों ने अश्विन को हटा दिया, कैसे बोल
हम लोगों ने कहा हटाया, हम लोगों ने कहा हटाया, वो खुद हट गया।
सकते? जेन्युइन
और
कैप्टेंसी
आपने खुद ने कहा वाशिंगटन
कंटेंडर।
सुंदर में वो बात नहीं है, आपने खुद ने
हाँ,
कहा।
वाशिंगटन सुंदर में वो बात नहीं है, वाशिंगटन बॉलिंग में वो बात नहीं है, वो ही इज अ गुड काइंड
अरे
ऑफ।
आप उनको 50 और बात बॉलिंग कराएंगे तो कैसे बॉलिंग में वो बात आएगी बेचारे के,
नहीं
आप
नहीं,
उसको ट्रीट कैसे कर रहे हो भी
देखो
देखो.
तुम, you will get to see him like his bowling is slightly mediocre, like
It is. I agree. It is not the thing, but
no, but I'll
yeah,
tell you,
he'll improve.
gentlemen,
तो
friends,
आपने
this has
डिस्मिस ही कर
been
दिया द्वैपन,
dismiss. नहीं dismiss,
वाशिंगटन
Chandresh,
सुंदर को डिस्मिस ही कर दिया।
dismiss. नहीं, this has
he,
been the most.
he's a good package, he's a sturdy batter, ठीक ठाक बॉलिंग कर ले, बट वो मैच विनिंग एबिलिटी विद द बॉल नहीं है उसका।
This
भाई
has
एक ही
been
वर्ल्ड
one
क्लास
of the.
प्लेयर है इस समय आपकी टीम में, वही कप्तान बन सकता है बस.
कौन?
और
मैं
ऋषभ पंत भी है।
बुमराह, जसप्रीत बुमराह और ऋषभ पंत, या
अरे
two, sorry.
guys, this is unbelievable. This has been one of the most entertaining shows beyond the boundary, I'm sure. So much of discussion. First of all, बुमराह and श्रेयस अय्यर को पहले बोलना पड़ेगा कि if you all are fit, only then we can consider you as a captain material. Whether you're interested or not, that's a different story. But ultimately, I would like to kind of give my final judgment. Vignesh Ram says need 4 years for Washi to develop. Yes, no problem. Vignesh will be very happy. You know, in fact, your Sai Ram, Sai Sudarshan, and of course Washi, everyone can come, we need. But immediate future में जैसे चंद्रेश और द्वापा ने बताया, there's a major problem, it's a worrying fact. And finally, I would like to give my suggestion that forget everyone, let's make Ravindra Jadeja as the all format captain, because he seems to be the only player who's fit now for a long time and
बट वो
nobody else is.
रिटायर कर गए ना उन्होंने
नहीं, उसको बुलाएंगे ना
वो टी ट्वेंटी रिटायर कर गए, और अक्षर
नहीं,
पटेल
वापस
उनकी
बुलाएंगे
जगह
वो।
खा जाएंगे अभी ओडीआई में। अक्षर पटेल उनकी
उसको
जगह ले जाएंगे।
चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी में जीजी मेरे को लगता है शायद दो ही अक्षर और जडेजा बोथ विल गो।
Yes, exactly.
Possibly,
I think yes.
but then in the 11, Aksar will be preferred is what I'm getting a feel. I think if they already
तो 11
तो
तो टीम मैनेजमेंट ऑन द डे।
जीजी बट क्लैरिटी के लिए ये तो बता दो कि टीम सिलेक्शन कब है, क्या प्रेस रिलीज रात को 10:30 बजे आएगा,
बाय
11:15
ऑल
बजे आएगा?
वो तो 10:30 बजे ही आएगा। वो तो बीसीसीआई की एक रघुकुल वो प्रथा है पिछले 3-4 साल में। आपकी जो टीम है वो 11 बजे आएगी रात को, 10:30 बजे आएगी, ताकि आप सिर्फ एक सिंगल कॉलम डिवोट कर सकते हो उसके लिए मैक्सिमम जल्दी से पेज खोल के, ठीक है
अच्छा,
ना?
टीम कभी हो,
Because they are
टीम
digital
कब बताओ?
first. Because they are digital first. BCCI is
हाँ.
not digital first.
Yeah.
पता नहीं क्या है दोस्त। I hope there's a press conference also while announcing the team for the Champions Trophy, the final 15-16, so that we get a bit of clarity.
Announcement
वो बता नहीं रहा है, वो बता नहीं रहा है जीजी।
देखो
वो मुस्कुरा रहा है, नहीं बता रहा, नहीं बता रहा।
सोर्सेस पर कैसे, फिर वो देखिए जर्नलिस्ट कैसे अपनी कमाई करेगा अगर सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा तो।
But I am very keen to see whether Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli will they be playing the England ODIs. I am very keen to see that. Like that will be.
They have to. They have to. If they have to be considered for Champions Trophy, then they have to. Otherwise, there's no point. I
मुंबई
don't
में
think.
पोस्टर छप गया है, तो उनको खेलना ही पड़ेगा।
खेलना ही पड़ेगा ना। अभी वो इंग्लैंड जा नहीं पाएंगे, वो अभी इंग्लैंड घर नहीं जा पाएंगे बेचारे।
कौन नहीं कर रहा? वो जा रहे हैं, वो घर जा रहे हैं।
नहीं, वो घर से आएंगे ना, ओडीआई खेलने आएंगे, 3 ओडीआई खेलेंगे, फिर चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी खेलेंगे, फिर वापस निकल जाएंगे
ना।
दुबई से तो इंग्लैंड ओवरनाइट फ्लाइट है, तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
टेल मी समथिंग, वन फाइनल थिंग पंकज, मैं जानना चाहता हूं जीजी से, आपके सोर्सेस बता रहे हैं कि रोको, जैसे सोशल मीडिया पे बोलते हैं, क्या वो रणजी ट्रॉफी खेलने वाले हैं 23 तारीख से?
I don't know. See, my point is there are two issues here. They should be playing the Ranji Trophy if they are both in the frame for England. If one of them also has been told, for example, if Rohit has been told कि भाई आप England नहीं जाओगे and they're not considering you for red ball cricket anymore, does it serve any purpose for him to then to play a Ranji Trophy match? Tell me. That is, I'm just.
How can they play the Ranji Trophy if they are playing the Champions Trophy? Then they will play the England series, no?
Maybe the idea is that some cricket they will play. They will get to play some cricket, and there is a lot of brouhaha that why are they not playing domestic cricket? तो सारा brouhaha शांत करने के लिए. Maybe that, but then yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't serve any purpose for them to play at this stage. वो तब था. Last September they should have played. The selectors insisted that they should play, but गौतम गंभीर कोच और हमारे मान चीफ सेलेक्टर अजीत अगरकर ने बोला नहीं, कोई बात नहीं, बड़े प्लेयर हैं, बहुत दिया है देश को, कोई बात नहीं, एक दिलीप ट्रॉफी मैच नहीं खेलेंगे तो क्या होगा? और उसका असर हमने देख लिया थ्रू आउट द होम सीजन।
बट पहले तो इंग्लैंड का T20 है ना, उसके बाद वनडे है, तो T20 तो खेल ही नहीं रहा है, तो खेलना चाहिए ना।
नहीं, T20 तो नहीं खेल रहे हैं वो, बट ओडीआई वही मैं कह रहा हूँ, ओडीआई दैट इज व्हाई द ओडीआई बिकम क्रूशियल फॉर देम। That is why, ODI बाद में है, that is why because they are free, that there is space for them to play that Ranji Trophy match. There is this whole brouhaha that they should play that Ranji Trophy match, but they can still skip it because it's a different format altogether. And if they say कि हमको break चाहिए, straight away we're going to play the 3 ODIs against England to sort of get our touch back for the Champions Trophy. That is also fair enough. इतना भी मतलब a lot of senior players have missed the odd the odd Ranji Trophy match.
So what has happened today on the show, friends, has been absolutely spectacular. It started on an extremely worrying note that we do not have anyone to bowl. Spin में भी कोई नहीं है, fast bowling में भी कोई नहीं है. इतना tension आ गया था. And then suddenly there was so much of entertainment. And now the worrying factor has moved from the bowling to the batting department. Everyone is saying कि batting कौन करेगा? So this is going to be
to the captaincy. To the captaincy,
yes. So the next 6 months or this 2025 is going to be extremely difficult for Indian cricket, from the bowling, batting, and of course fielding department. So, and we will discuss all these things on Beyond the Boundary. But Chandresh, Dwaipayan, and Gaurav, thank you very much for joining us today. It has been a fantastic interaction, and let's hope that we continue with such kind of discussions in the upcoming days. At least we can take away the worrying factor from the Indian cricket side, and we'll at least do something, some very important discussions on TOI Sports on Beyond the Boundary. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, ladies in the sense, the ones who are viewing us, and gentlemen on the street right now. Thank you very much. Pankaj Attapale signing off. We'll catch up with you immediately tomorrow. See you again.